Hey everyone, it's Rachel. It is Sunday night. I am at my kitchen table, although it looks like I'm in a garden because of the background that I chose. I have my Sleepy Girl mocktail, and I thought I would take a quick moment, grab my computer. One of my goals for 2024 was to make more video content for my YouTube channel. And here it is, the beginning of March. And this, I believe, is the first video that I've posted this year for 2024. I'm pretty sure it is because I have been so incredibly busy. So here we are. We're just going to jump in and do it. So one of the things that I wanted to do on this channel was talk about a couple of things. First off, I wanted this to be super casual. Again, I'm in my comfy t-shirt. I'm just making time for this because, again, holding myself accountable that there's never going to be a good time to make content or that I'm going to feel like 110% about the way that I look because my schedule is so crazy. So I'm just going to jump in and do it and we'll see how it goes. So one of the things I wanted to talk to you about was I want to get more regular on here about talking about the articles that I'm working on, kind of some of the behind the scenes of the articles that I'm working on and why I think they're important. So last week, I had an article published about the growing problem of maternal or maternity healthcare deserts in our country, especially in rural areas. I promise you it's not political. It's straight up facts. It's stuff that everyone needs to care about. If you are part of a community, you need to care about having quality healthcare in your community. And this is some great information around that so that you can be educated about the topic and help advocate for yourself and others in your community. So really great article. It's something I think of when I'm working on articles and I think about how deep the relationships and the connections that you are building with your clients, because a lot of the times when you're working with a client to help them find a home, you're not just talking straight up data, statistics, zip codes, those kinds of things. Like you get to know these people, you get to know their family, you get to know what they're trying to accomplish, you know so many different things about them, and you work so closely with them for a course of, in some cases, several months. So I always try to, when I'm working on articles, I always try to look at it from the perspective of what are some topics or what are some information that would be really helpful for agents to know, just so they know what's going on in their communities and what's going on in the world outside of, 5 helpful tips to get leads without paying Zillow. Okay. So those are the kind of articles and stories that I like to tackle, especially like to tackle women's issues because I think it's super important. And since March is International Women's Month, we have a ton of content coming your way that I am working on that I hope will be fun and outside of the box. I had a great interview last week of a super popular, super talented, and amazingly intelligent financial podcaster. And I cannot wait to share that interview with you. So be on the lookout for that this month. She's an incredibly talented person. She has great information to share. Her book is amazing. That's all I'm going to say about it right now. You'll have to wait to see the article, but that should be coming out soon. Also working on a really kind of strange article about safety, but using the analogy of the Roman Empire TikTok trend that's going around. So if you like out of the box kind of satire kind of thing, you might enjoy that story. I'm also going to include, I guess Saturday Night Live did a parody on the whole Roman Empire thing as far as what men think about. And they actually did a really good job with it. So I'm going to include that in the story as well, because anytime I can include some pop culture or something fun inside my stories, because a lot of the times I talk about really kind of heavy, serious topics to kind of lighten it up just a little bit, I'm going to do that because I think that's important. So thinking about the week ahead, I have a couple of different goals. So I do a couple of different things. The first thing I do is I sell homes in a retirement community to folks 60 or better that include a long-term healthcare package. So it is, you purchase the home essentially, but the home comes with a healthcare contract that includes all of your care that you could potentially need as someone in retirement and as someone is aging in place. So it's a very unique niche that I'm working in right now. But there are so many parallels with when I previously sold in real estate, and same thing with everyone in real estate right now. ebbs and flows and the whole sales process and dealing with prospects and trying to keep people engaged and trying to work through inventory I have that has been sitting for a couple of months and having to give it a fresh perspective. So one of the fun things that we have been working on a more detailed content strategy. So that's been really fun to kind of go back and rework what we have done previously and making just a couple of tweaks and coming up with some fresh marketing around spring and working on that and working that out to the prospects. And I think that is one of the things I wanted to share with you tonight that I think is so important is just because you have been doing something with your marketing or you've done something with your marketing in the past, it doesn't mean it's one and done. You have to constantly look at your analytics every month, make adjustments, be willing to try new things. If the old things that did work aren't working anymore, you have to look at your analytics to even understand how that's happening. And then you have to be willing to try some things outside of your comfort zone or outside of the box to see if you can, move the needle in one direction or the other. If things aren't working in your marketing right now, I don't think you're going to make it worse by trying something new. I do think you have the potential to kind of mix things up for yourself and learn something along the way. So don't be afraid to try different things with your marketing. You have some inventory that's sitting, or if you are trying to reach a specific kind of prospect and you haven't been able to reach them, don't be afraid to kind of mix things up. The last thing I'm working on is I actually have a couple of clients that I do private consulting with. And the challenge is right now, many of them did a fantastic job hustling right after the holidays and getting early spring listings ready to market. And as soon as they put them in the market, they were like swept up, gone. So now they are in this strange spot where they have to hustle immediately again to get inventory again, because the inventory that they had hustled so hard to collect, during the off time, saying, my new spring listings are already gone. And technically it's not even spring yet. What we're doing is, again, we're kind of unpacking strategy around that. First off, we're trying to, again, reassure their audiences that the market is strong and that there is a lot of buyer interest and that sellers can still meet their goals. So that is something that we always try to emphasize in the marketing that I work on with them. And then the next thing is just trying to keep it fun and figuring out what works for them and as an individual. And what I find when I start unpacking marketing for individuals is some individuals are really, really strong in video and photography. And when they do a personal post and it's literally just them and a selfie, that will perform 800 times better than any kind of stock kind of, just announcement, something's under contract. So we always try to look at these analytics and pay attention to that and focus on having meaningful conversations with their audiences. So when I look at content for my clients, I look at it again in essentially 3 different buckets: something fun where people can get to know you, something educational, and then something, again, career-driven announcements. And that's it. 3 very simple buckets that we stay within, keeping it simple so we can stay consistent and just creating a regular schedule. And when there's time and energy to do something extra special, we'll definitely do that. But otherwise, we're just going to stick to the plan. And when there's chances for spontaneity to happen, we're going to let that happen. We're going to let it happen organically. But otherwise, we're going to stick to the plan. That's the most important thing that I try to help my clients understand is marketing doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be hard. It just has to be consistent. And you have to be willing to mix things up there again when you need to, but stay consistent, stay with it. And most of the time you accomplish your goals and you're pretty happy at the end of the day. So lastly, what I'm working on in my personal life, I'm going to be sharing some more content about healthy things that I'm eating that are helpful to me because I'm pre-diabetic. I have reactive hyperglycemia. I have PCOS, you name it. I'm over 40 and now I've got it. and it's a pain, but it is something that I feel like a lot of people over 40 struggle with becoming insulin resistant and all of the things that you go through after you get over 40 and your body starts changing and things, especially for women. So refocusing in March and trying to clean that up. The thing is, when you have reactive hypoglycemia, it is some days are really good, and the next day you can eat the exact same thing and then have just like a really bad day, and it doesn't matter what you eat or what you do. Things your body just doesn't like it. So I'm going to create some more content around that. I've had a lot of questions about that. It's something I've had diagnosed for a couple of years now, and I finally feel comfortable and confident in talking about that. So just another kind of stream of stuff that I want to share, because there's not a lot of content out there about reactive hypoglycemia. And if me just sticking in nuggets here and there is helpful to someone, that would be cool. That would be cool. Be glad to help you on that, because the only reason I feel like have it under control as much as I do is because of content creators on YouTube, and I finally have a really good doctor, and a combination of just constantly educating myself about food all the time. And it doesn't make it easier to manage sometimes on a daily basis, but it does make it easier to come up with a plan to manage, if that makes sense. I've got some great things planned this week. We have a really fun awards banquet coming up for Habitat for Humanity. We've been nominated for a Greater Goods Award this week, so I'm excited to go attend that. I have some great clients coming into town to look at my new construction, so I'm really excited about that. And I have a really fun video project I'm working on for the new construction, so I'm excited about that. And I also have a fun presentation that I'm working on for an event later in March about providing information for financial planners. And I'm super excited about that, because at one point in time, I would say that I was a person who was very uncomfortable talking about money and finances and financial planning and those kinds of things. And over the years, I have really tried to self-educate and get more confident in talking about those topics. And if you would have told me 10, 15 years ago that I would be putting together a presentation for financial planners, I would have said, "What are you talking about?" So I'm really excited about that, and looking forward to making that project happen this month as well. So that's it. That is my Sunday night. I am getting ready to have a late dinner and chill out and relax, but I hope you all like this kind of very casual chat, and I wasn't rambling too much, and something was interesting here, but I'm going to try to, again, create a lot more content like this, and I hope it is helpful, and I look forward to talking to you all more here in the space, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Thanks. Bye.